Y'all, welcome back to Brandon Wilkes Outdoors, where we are going to be doing something outdoors all the time. Today we are actually scoring a deer. So right here we have our deer head from our deer we killed the other day. We have our measuring tape. These you can get at, I love this, I use this for my fish and my deer. You can get them at Walmart. They're in the crafts department, and they're literally like $2 for that. Got my pen, a piece of paper. We're going to be doing the Boone and Crockett method. There's actually a printable sheet online you can pull up, print out, shows you exactly how to do it. I've done it quite a few times, I know how to do it. So that's what we're about to do with this deer. I do apologize for the lighting because we killed this deer 2 days ago. I've been waiting to cut his horns off so we could score him with his skull. I just like doing that better. But he's starting to stink, and it has been raining and cloudy and nasty ever since I've killed this deer. So we're just gonna have to do the job. Anyway, we're fixing to do that. So here's a few things I typically do. I go ahead and make my lines on my deer. So how to score a deer is you're gonna measure from the base all the way up for his main beam, both sides. You're gonna do his points, his brow tines. So this is his brow tine, which is actually a G1. This is his G2. This is his G3. You measure his main beam, and then you measure the furthest distance between, and then you measure around each spot as long as there's a point on the other side. So you would measure here, here, and here. You don't measure here because there's not another point. If there was, we'd measure here and then not. So that's where we're at. We're fixing to measure his horns out and see what he comes out to. One little trick I like to do, just to make sure, so you're supposed to measure this in a straight line, like that. So wherever the horn goes across, that's where you want to measure. So I typically make me at least a dot right there. Kind of hard to do with a camera. And then a dot right there. Brow tines, I normally just go to the bottom of it there, and you see this, you can see the line like right here. So we'll measure from there. Same thing on this side. Make you a dot there, and then a dot there. So now we got our dots on our horns. We're gonna measure him out. So you'll see on the piece of paperwork, if you ever print that out, that when you're measuring a typical deer, one side of his horns, so this side you'd measure this side, and you have to deduct between the two. A non-typical, everything counts. But this is a typical deer. He doesn't have any points going down or out, and that's what changes that to be a non-typical. So this is a straight typical 8-point. He does have a point right here coming off, but it's not an inch long. It's probably about 3/4 of an inch, so that don't count. So anyway, we're going to measure him out. We'll measure this side, write it all down. Measure this side, write it down, deduct between the two, and then we'll measure the width between the horns, and we'll have our total. So we're at 17 3/4. I'm gonna put an M for main beam there. And this is the right side. Now we'll measure his G1 on the right side. We're at 2 3/4. So we're going to do G1, G2, G3. And then we'll do width. So we're going to do main, G1, G2, G3, and then we'll compare them. So G1 was 2 3/4. We're at 5 3/4. If y'all want to type this in the calculator, doing it like this makes it a lot easier. And we're at 8 1/4. 0.25 for his G2. So let's change this. 2.75 and 17.75. That'll just make it easier for y'all who won't use a calculator. Now we're going to do this side. $19.75, 19 3/4. Brow tine is quite a bit longer on this side, so we're at 3.5 inches. Eight 1/4. They match up perfectly. Look at her on his G2. And then 4 inches on his G3. Now we'll do the width, and that is the widest point between the horns. And we're at 16.5. This widest point has to be inside his horns. So from here to here is your widest point inside the horns. Don't go outside, has to be inside. We're zeroed out. Alright, so the easiest way to do this, total these up, minus. Alright, we got 19.75 plus 3.5 plus 8.25 plus 4 equals 35.5. 35.5. This side, 17.75 plus 2.75 plus 8.25 plus 5.75 equals 34.5. Y'all look at that. That's a 1 inch difference. That's crazy. 34.5. And then we have the width of 16 inches. Now we have to get the measurement around each one. So this is where we're at now. So our first measurement's going to be below the brow tine. So I'll just put G1 minus G1 minus G2 minus G3. That means you're going below the G3, below the G1, below the G2. And this is left. This is right. Minus G1 minus G2 minus G3. Alright, let's get those measurements. We're at dead on 4 inches, the brow tine. We're at 3.75. It's holding pretty true, but this is where it normally drops quite a bit when you go to the next number. And this one is 3 1/4. It dropped too much, that's all right. All right, we'll go to the other side. Four and a half. 3.5. And 3.25. All right, now we're going to total these up. So we got 4.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.25 equals 11.25. 4 plus 3.75 plus 3.25 equals 11. Only a 1/4 inch difference. That's crazy when you actually total it out like that. It's crazy when you total it out like that, what you come to. Alright, so we total these up. That'd be 22.25. You know, put these two together, you have 22.25, but we have a 2.5 difference, so you would deduct that. So you have 22 total. Here you do the same thing. We're going to do the calculator with this one. 35.5 plus 34.5 equals 70. And we have a 1 inch difference, so that will go down to 69. So the totals we're going to add up. I know there's a bunch of scratch. 69, 16.5, that's the width, that doesn't change no matter what, and then 22, because you have to deduct between the two when you have a typical deer. So this is when it comes down to the final thing right here. So we have 69 inches plus 16.5 inches plus 22 inches gives us a total of 107.5. So that's how you do it. So I'll be honest with y'all, a little disappointed in that. Little disappointed in that score, cause y'all, this is a good deer. Look at this thing. This is a good deer. Now, for Boone and Crockett to go in the book, they only got to score 100 inches. So he's well above that to go in the book. But, you know, it's all right. I was hoping for 115, but, you know, 107.5 inches is good. And we have only deducted a little bit. So if you scored them out like true blue and didn't have to deduct anything, we'd be pushing 110. But anyway, that's how you score deer. Now I can cut the horns off. I'm gonna put some salt on them. We're gonna hang them up, let them dry. We're gonna hang them in the house. But anyway, thank y'all for coming along again. Y'all please like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we're going after another big one this weekend. We'll see y'all there.